Hi, Maria.
Hey, how are you?
I am good. How are you doing?
Doing great, thank you.
I'm excited that we are here back again because our first conversation truly was received very much by a lot of people. I was extremely happy to see that everybody was entertained and also had gained some wisdom or knowledge or awareness just
Right.
by the way you and I were covering all these different subjects. We were going to the near death, we were going to the quantum physics, we were going to, like just in general, everything. And it was pretty fun. And today, the focus that I wanted to put on this interview is to truly understand you are pretty much the woman of Abeytu natural products. And I am taking two of the products on a very much continuous basis. So I definitely want to make sure that I understand what exactly that means, and I'm hoping that other people who are interested in taking the journey with us to use these products can also understand that why now these products are really good for
Yeah.
everyone to consider taking it. And if not the same product, at least by our discussion, they will understand what truly their body needs, however they want to accomplish that, to each to their own, right?
Right, right.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, just interestingly, just as a quick background, I sort of spit this out sometimes on social media and in our email blasts. But my background is most people know I'm a clinical scientist, but I'm a study of over 20 years under the microscope. I had a very intense, I want to say, professional life, and was always, very disciplined and climb that ladder and learn as much as you can. And it was a very high stress type of situation. So I'm not really sure what got me, but in around 2012, I'm an athlete, right? So I was a little surprised when I started getting short of breath. Found out I had a pericardial effusion in the apex, lower part of my heart and behind. And I thought, well, that's weird. I don't know anything about that. Been in healthcare for a really long time. I have no idea what this is or why it would be here. A lot of it is, fast forward to now, was a lot stress related. I ended up with another condition over the years that was, I had to have an auto renal transplant for, which is moving my kidney from one side of my body to the other side of my body. So they tell me, still the only living person in the world who's had a total pericardiectomy and an auto renal transplant. I survived both of those surgeries within just a couple of years of one another, and they were horrifically difficult, because I don't take medications, I don't take uh, pain meds. I'm highly allergic to anesthesia, highly allergic. It's really difficult for me. So they were really hard. I never truly understood, and I would get this diagnosis of idiopathic, and unacceptable to me, because there's no such thing as idiopathic. There's a reason for everything. So I searched and searched and searched, and being the person I am, I drove myself insane trying to figure out why me, why this. All this went on just within a very short time frame, around 2008 or 16 to 19. 2016 to 2019 is when all of that happened. And we had here this, coronavirus outbreak, or, garbage stuff that was happening in late 2019. I had decided I was going to leave the medical field entirely. I was done teaching college. I was finished being in the healthcare field. And that decision I made early 2019, late 2018. So I really just wanted out. I had to have modern surgery, save my life, but I literally did heal myself, both spiritually and energetically, and found my own power and developed patents for things that could naturally heal others and myself. So this literally came out in March of 2019 before I submitted for my first patent at that time, to try to reverse viral infections for people. And that's my first patent, and it is an antiviral. And that is the tincture that you are taking, and that a lot of people take, that I have a lot of people in the healthcare field take. So that is how that came about. Literally, this is actually really funny. I had told my business partner at one point, I got on the phone with her and I said, listen, I want to cure herpes and hemorrhoids. That's what I want to do. So let's build this company that's like H&H, just joking around.
So that was your vision, like when you were starting out in Abeytu.
I just wanted it I wanted it done because people would come into, my clinic or my offices, and this was, always a chief complaint, right? So what is your chief complaint? Well, here's these bumps again, and I have to go get this Valtrex, and I have to go get acyclovir and all of these things, and I can't afford it. I don't have insurance. And you see, whenever you are an owner or you are going through and you're in the medical field on the backside as well, because I have the front and the back, patient contact and the backside, I would see things and I would have to deal with the business. I'm an MBA as well. So I would have to deal with the business end of it, which is horrific. It's awful. It's, it feels wrong. Whenever you're just trying to help someone, you still have to go through all these steps, and people can't get their treatment quickly, or you have to wait on, a third appointment. So this person can talk to this person and then make sure that they understand. And, so you lose weeks, trying to help people. And I just started really despising the industry, the insurance of it. So, I have built it from the ground up, and including these formulations. What I wanted to do was make sure that I wasn't using preservatives, that I went back to the plant kingdom, that I found a way to access the cells that I was really after. One of my specialties was immunology, and I'm not an immunologist, which would mean I would be a medical doctor. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a very intelligent, very well-studied clinical scientist with a lot of experience under the microscope. So I went back to the cell and decided that if there was something that we were giving to people that wasn't working with their bodies, or that was turning on metabolic processes or shutting metabolic processes down, or harming an organ in any way, that it was wrong for the body, period. Right. That's it. Because from my point of view, disease comes from one place, and that is dysfunction, period. You can fix a lot of things if you fix dysfunction, or if you go back and just regulate the response, because we are surrounded by EMF, by poisoned water, heavy metals, garbage in our food, and polysorbates, preservatives that are not good for us, that maybe when you combine them with something else that's even natural may not be good for us. So, it's not just an easy thing to try to remediate, a biological body. And then, in turn, make sure that spiritually you don't lose any connection, and that you are exciting your cells, making the inside happy again. Like we were talking earlier, the chief formulation that I came out with that does everything is that tincture. And we know that it increases the electromagnetic conductivity of your cells. So we've had other physicians measure this for us, and it's measurable on the outside of the skin. And that is changing the electrical charge inside of your body.
Okay, so when you say that, because I know that our cell is supposed to vibrate at 0.07 voltage or something like that. So are you saying that, because I know disease generally occurs when we are not performing to the optimum performance we're supposed to naturally, right? And anything and everything has a cascading effect in our body, right? So it starts with one thing and then keeps going everywhere. It's like a cancer, right? It spreads everywhere really fast. So if you can truly understand or stop it before it can even go in that ripple effect.
Yeah.
That's one of the goals that you have by providing these products with cell health in mind.
Yes.
And this
Yeah.
tincture, now tell me, what does it contain in terms of the ingredients?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So
why?
this is what's super cool about it is, you know, in the spiritual community, a lot of times we talk about, and this is right down our wheelhouse. So this is marrying spirituality with physicality, right? And biology. Whenever this came to me, this was March of 2019. And I went home after work, and it was on a Saturday morning, and I told my husband, I am sick of this. I can fix people, and they don't need any of this garbage, and it's going to be something that they can afford. And I know how to do this, and I think I can do it better. And what was amazing was I woke up that next morning and I sat down, and it took me about 6 hours to write the meat and potatoes, basically the basis of the patent. And then this is really interesting. So at that time, I'll tell you what's in it. So what's in it, and everyone's going to recognize this, and you're going to understand that in the beginning of 2019, most people didn't even know what these ingredients were, but they do now.
Right.
Quercetin, glutathione, L-lysine, vitamin C, selenium, and zinc. And I do something special where I use a cannabinoid isolate. So I use 4 milligrams per dose, and I use it so that I can access the immune cells. So a lot of people don't know that you have, a handful of receptors, of these CV2 receptors that literally are on your immune cells. So if you can find a vehicle to access those cells, and this is the technology behind it, then you can deliver the micronutrients that the cells need. You can also deliver particular micronutrient that helps with cellular, we call it apoptosis, or programmed cell death, so that you don't have, damaged cells from radiation, say a CT scan, for instance, EMF like 5G, things like that, so that you don't have damaged DNA and these cells, replicating haphazardly, causing more damage in your body. All cells have a pre-programmed cell death. So I even have, this ingredient in there that helps with that. What we started finding with the signature formulation was that, lo and behold, Shehnaz, it started, and I'm not claiming that we can cure disease, because I'm not allowed to do that. You go to my website and you'll see not very much information, because we are limited by the federal government about what we can say, even though we are science-based, until we come up with $12 million to do proper, studies.
Right.
Through the federal government, we don't get to say anything, right? So
I'm glad actually that you don't say that you cure diseases. You know why? Because
right.
At the end of the day, the person who is diseased has to take the responsibility of that part, because no matter what other
Yes.
people do or other tincture do, if you truly are not aligned with your own goal for fixing yourself, you're going to keep creating that same condition that got you on there on the first place.
100%. That's exactly right. And I'm glad that you said that, because you want to set reasonable expectations. This, anything that you take, whether it's my product or someone else's product, anything that you take, you have to understand that you go into it with your eyes wide open and you have reasonable expectations, because you have to do the work as well, right? This is your guideline, this is your stepping stone, but you have to do some of that inner work. And if you keep having, symptoms from a certain condition, you better start looking inside, because there are things that you can do to bioremediate physically, yes, but we are so poisoned and under assault all the time with stress, and water and food, as I discussed, and electrical current. It takes more than just a physical product. But I will say that I have been beyond impressed about what's happening. It helped teach me a lot about the root of disease and what actually happened to me. And I think that through my experience is the reason why I call it a gift. And I say that it was given to me because it was given to me before any of this garbage started. And it was given to me at a time, and I was forced to wake my ass up, and it wasn't friendly.
Oh my God. So you were definitely, yeah, so you were being groomed to get ready for this mission that you had on hand, and you were kind of a little bit kicking and screaming and saying, no, I'm not ready yet. But it was almost like, you know, when the time is right, you get to, and the good thing is that you listen, you followed along. And now when you look back, you're saying, thanks God I did it, because truly that aligns with your calling and is helping so many people. So it kind of works itself out. So based on all the ingredients you said, it looks like that it definitely has everything to prevent, like, you know, for prevention or for enhancing your immune system enough that hopefully if you're surrounded by a whole bunch of people who are either shedding from whatever the reasons are, you are able to protect yourself by taking this. And then the dosage and all that information is on the website.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I want to show people something. Are you okay with me to show my screen? Okay. So earlier, Shehnaz and I were talking about hair. So while I'm doing this, please tell them about your hair, because this is exciting.
Yeah, actually, the reason I even found you is because of the hair. So the main reason I found you is because I wanted to get to, you know, right after COVID, people were losing hair, and even I started losing hair. So the goal was to figure out that what can we do to protect ourselves, and then that's how we got connected, because of the hair. And my hair is just becoming very curly since I started using the product. So that's my finding.
So there's all kinds of, and this is, I think, you know, and I know that we don't have much time left, so I want to say this. There is, when I say that, you know, what we started finding was that it works on so many things, that it teaches you so much about the root of pathology. And, you know, it helps shine a light on the fact that if we can actually just slow down and regulate dysfunction and take a step back and start working with the body instead of against it, you know, try your best not to reach for that magic pill. You know, we started doing studies and looking at aging and hair loss and growth, nails, things of that nature. And, you know, I've shared some other slides before, but today, like, I really wanted to show people some hair because it's remarkable. It's not just, you know, an antiviral patent pending. There's more to it. There are actually 6 patents pending on the same formulation. That's how remarkable it is. But this one is super cool. So I'm going to share my screen really quick. And I was telling Shehnaz that, just for your audience, that baby hair is actually is usually curly. So I'm going to go through this really quick, but I wanted to just get to the hair. You don't need to worry about these, but this was part of the anti-aging patent. In this picture, she is 49 and looks much older. And in this picture, she's 54. And I'm not allowed to tell your audience this yet because I'm not allowed to speak about it until next month. But we just won a huge award for, you know, the only sublingual in this particular arena. So I'll talk about that with you next month. But this was a remarkable study. And then this one is just a 2-month on the sublingual. This is a hair before and after, and this is 1 month. So you can see that her angle is obviously a little bit different, but you can tell that in 1 month, because we have to rely on submissions. We're not allowed to solicit photos. And so we have to rely on people just sending them in random to us. And we look at some of these results and we're always giggling, you know, because this is literal hair growth in 1 month.
Wow.
This is really remarkable. So this is a sublingual. This is our male, and this is 1 month.
And when you are using the word sublingual, you're basically talking about the tincture that's taken under the tongue, right? So that's I mean, I can tell that my hair has never been this curly as I have been feeling now. And I know that, like, even, you know, right after COVID, I was very concerned about my hair, but thankfully now I'm not, my concerns are not the same. So I do say that tincture definitely there's something about it that it actually gets to the point where your hair can restore. But based on everything that you had explained me, even the first time when we had a conversation, you said that the hair is the first thing that goes when our body does not know where else to go to get the nutrients, the micronutrients.
Right.
So when your hair does become better, that's a sign that you're doing something right.
Right. And oh, by the way, your skin looks really good.
Oh, well, thank you. I think that's because the sunlight window right there.
No, no, it's not. So, and people don't understand this. So I talk about the 4 pillars of aging, and this is one thing that won us this big award. And if you want to help reverse age of the cell, and I understand that my hair is white, okay, that is because, not because my cells are old, that's because I dyed the piss out of my hair for about 15 years, and it is hydrogen peroxide damaged. So I did this to me. It's, and it happens to a lot of people over the years, and yes, sometimes has everything to do with age, but my diet's actually very good. And I'm just wearing it proud, and I'm going to make white hair super cool.
Yeah.
That's what
Maria,
I do.
tell me actually, explain that why, like when you color your hair and the very fact that you're saying that you created this scenario for you that your hair is more white than it would have been if you wouldn't have colored it, right? So what does the hydrogen peroxide has to do with that?
Good question. I have no idea. I actually, I really don't, because I'm not a hairdresser, but I read this in a scientific journal.
Mhm.
And there are a lot of people using, for instance, like red onion that helps neutralize hydrogen peroxide. So, maybe in my next life, when I have a lot more time and I'm not looking, to reverse hemorrhoids for people, I'll go ahead and try to invent something very, very natural that neutralizes hydrogen peroxide, build up in the scalp, because that is a huge contributor. But what we were talking about? So we were talking about hair and strength, and can't remember where I was going.
So coloring hair, right?
Coloring, and then and like anti-aging. So the 4 pillars of anti-aging, immune. So your immune system, your metabolic system, your liver, and your kidneys. These 4 things, these 4 processes in the body, if you can find a way to take care of those 4 systems, then you will reverse aging of the cells. You will have a proper working immune system, and your immune system rebuilds tissue from the inside out. So this is what led to our big award. And I might, I'm not supposed to say a whole lot, but I'm beaming like I really want to, because I worked really hard on this. But it is very important that people take care of their livers, limit. I always tell people to try to limit what you put in a capsular form through your liver, and be very picky about what you do take as far as supplements and vitamins and things like that are concerned. What I aimed to do was take the proper concentrations of the right micronutrients, because I had hundreds to pick from, right? So I chose what I call my golden 6, and I chose these for a reason, at the concentrations that they're at for a reason. And what we did was we went after the 4 pillars, and it works.
So that means this one tincture pretty much does take care of all the 4 pillars of anti-aging, and every ingredient that you mentioned that's in the tincture. Can I say it safely that if someone is taking those supplements externally, they don't really have to, because if tincture is providing the necessary sufficient nutrition?
Yeah, and it's funny, because whenever you look on the dosage, it's literally 5 drops, and people don't understand that. How can 5 drops of anything do, because when you boil it down, for instance, you might get only 8 milligrams of one of those micronutrients. And whenever you look at a pill or a capsule, you're taking 500 milligrams. Exactly. So what in God's name is 8 milligrams going to do for me that 500 can't? Well, I'll tell you. Excuse me. So you're getting maybe 8 to 11% of what you're taking orally, and you're probably, damaging your liver exponentially worse, because it has to process all of that garbage and filler and whatever else is in it. So you do have to be very picky. And the reason why you have to have higher doses in a capsule form is because it's not bioavailable. And then you'll have companies that tout and say, maximum bioavailability or nanotechnology, or we have, enhancers or blah, blah, just all kinds of stuff, or we use liposomes. All right, well, when I was sick, and this is nothing against any other company that, uses liposomes or micelles or anything like that, but I had to do a lot of deep diving whenever I was sick, because I wanted to figure out what in God's name was going on here. I'm an athlete. Why would I have such horrific fluid buildup? And I couldn't breathe. I lost 20% of my body weight, right? So I did a lot of deep dive digging, and it was a lot of literature. It was a lot of immunology. And what it boiled down to was there are a lot of things out there like a liposome that can cause an autoimmune response in the vasculature. But, in what dose? I don't know. Right. So we can have bioaccumulation of all things. And this is something else a lot of people don't think about, is that things that you're taking, can bioaccumulate. You have to have a very efficient functioning liver and kidneys to be able to eliminate. So what I do know is we get an incredible anti-inflammatory effect. We have incredible absorption, and we can anecdotally prove that time and time and time again. Is my product or anybody else's product, right for everybody? Maybe not. But I do know that it's better than a lot of the poison that people go out and shove down their throats every time they go out to eat. So.
Right. And I also wanted to make a point about this whole thing when people take external supplement, because, when you were looking at my blood result, and when you said something that got me questioning, because I didn't even understand that before. But when you said that if the high B12 shows up in the blood, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have a high B12. It actually means maybe you are not truly availing the B12, right? So it's staying in the stream, appearing to be more, which means maybe that's why you have low energy. I thought that was so interesting. And that I wanted to connect that experience with the very fact that you can take all these supplements externally, but the chances of it making all the way, right, to the cell,
yep,
which is where your patent comes into play to make sure it picks it up and delivers it all the way through the, through the ingredients you use. That is kind of where the piece of the puzzle is, right? That if that is not happening naturally with the body for people for different reasons, of course, then no matter how much supplement they take, it may just become a junk in their body and not do exactly what they're designed to do.
Right. And, a lot of junk that could be actually just, I call it sludge, just really sludging up the system. So what you want to do is, how your grandma and mom and everybody always said, everything in moderation, less is more. Guys, less really is more, because all you have to do is touch a receptor. We have hundreds of receptors on all of our cells, and they only have to be tapped. And guess what? Your magic body goes off. Your highly intelligent magic body goes off, and it goes after this metabolic pathway, and it is switched on. You don't have to saturate the receptors to do this. You do not. It just takes a little bit. So yeah, you will get some benefit out of supplements. It's better than not. What I tell people is, if you feel like you're going to be around a crowd or a bunch of people, then you can take more. You can absolutely take more than the recommended amount. You do you, and figure out what works best for you. It's generally considered safe, GRAS, through the government, and it's their natural compounds. I won't even use synthetic emulsifiers to blend oil and water. I won't even do that. So we make small to moderate batches so that everything's always fresh. There is always sort of a different consistency, just depending on the mixing. So you have to shake the bottle before you use it. And but I will say, there's nothing There is nothing in there that is going to cross the blood-brain barrier like a polysorbate or some other preservative. It's as clean as you can possibly be. So as
Wow.
natural as you can possibly be.
That
Yeah.
sounds pretty perfect. So I think that the recommendation here we have for all the listeners is if you are interested in this product, then please, I'm going to provide the link, and please click the link and give it a try. Just use it for 1 month. It seems like based on what you were showing in the picture, that even in 1 month, people were already experiencing a difference. So people will feel something change in them at the cellular level. And I was thinking, Maria, that we're going to have to close down today, but maybe when we come back next time, if you can give a little bit of a high level, like a biology lesson, that when the tincture goes inside the human body, then what exactly the processing it goes through to get to the point where it creates that anti-aging effect, like something very high level, and we can work together. But because I think that would be a good way to have that visual in front for people to truly understand that how magnificent this product is, and how it actually works in a way that truly is the type of supplement we need to take now, so that way we don't keep adding to the very problem we have started with.
Right. I've got a great slide that I use that gives you these nice bubbles, and it tells you, what percentage of, say, the kidney contributes to aging, what percentage of the liver contributes to aging, and then what percentage of the immune. Yeah, so I mean, we can totally go through that. And again, these are archived scientific journals, and information is out there. It's great, if you understand it, but pictures are great. And then we can, discuss what our hypothesis is, and because that's all I'm allowed to say is hypothesize, right? And again, I'm not curing anything, but boy, we sure are giving all of it a run for its money. So
right. No, I think this is good, and I'm hoping that this definitely helps people to understand how supplement affects your body. Therefore, it's very important to choose what you're going to put in your body, that it's truly helping you, and it's truly solving the problem, and it's not doing the contrary to that. And that's something only you can tell, and you need to know. And this is our attempt to tell you about what we are doing or what we think is right for our body. And we hope that you benefit from it. So we will be seeing you soon again in a few weeks. But for now, we just wish everyone a happy health, because health is wealth.
Agree. Thanks, Shehnaz.
Yes. Thank you.